Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and I'm really pleased to be in the offices of Berry and Lamberts Solicitors this afternoon. And I'm with Paul Reeder. Hello, Paul.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, yeah, all good.
Good. Now, Paul is the managing partner here. He's also head of company law and commercial law. And just to give you a little bit of background, everyone, about Berry and Lamberts, they've been going for 270 years, which is pretty incredible.
I wasn't here when it started.
And they've got offices here in Tunbridge Wells, was where we're based. Is this your head office? Is it work like that?
Yeah.
Head office in Tunbridge Wells, and they've also got offices in Sevenoaks and Paddock Wood.
Yep.
Paul, I've been trying to get you on the podcast for a long time, haven't I?
Yeah.
You're a busy man.
Well, it keeps me off the streets. And as you know, I've got a few other extracurricular activities which keep me busy as well. So,
Yes,
but it's nice that we finally get to do it.
Yeah,
so,
well, we'll talk about that. But let's start the chat off with you telling us how you got into law in the first place. If that's okay.
Okay. Well, I suppose unlike a lot of people, when I was 18, 19, I didn't really have much of an idea of what I wanted to do. I remember back, and it seemed like everybody had a plan of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to be, and I really didn't. And I'd done all right in my A-levels, and I remember speaking to my dad, and he said, well, law's a well-respected degree. And I suppose at that time, the only kind of experience of the law that I'd had in watching it on telly and criminal law mainly,
what the bill and stuff.
Probably Petrocelli and stuff like that for the people who can remember the old American series. But it seemed interesting. My dad said it's a well-respected degree, give it a go. So I did that, and I did my degree at Hull University. I always joke that I did law at Hull because I could spell law in Hull. I was never going to do microbiology at Aberystwyth or anything like that.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah. And then when it got to the end of my degree, again, I wasn't really convinced that I wanted to go and be a solicitor, but having thought about some of the things that I'd studied, and I was lucky enough to do an Erasmus course whilst I was studying, so I spent a year out in Utrecht. Okay. And studied a lot of human rights law, international criminal law. I even studied space law out there. Not that that's come in much use. But I realised that there were some aspects of this which I did really enjoy. So as a result of that, I said, let's go down the solicitor route. Yeah. I did my postgrad down in Bristol. And at the time that I was looking for training contracts, I was really interested in the criminal law side of things. I had a girlfriend at the time who lived in London. I didn't want to live in London, so I was looking for firms around about the London area. Yeah. And at the time, Berry's did a lot of criminal law, so I applied here and was lucky enough to get a training contract here, and that was pretty much 27 years ago to the day, I think.
Wow.
So,
and you were living up at Hull at that point?
So no, so I was living down in Bristol when I was applying.
Right.
That's where I did my kind of postgrad course that you need to do for solicitors. Yeah.
So then, your initial interest was in criminal law. But you've gone into more business law. Yeah. I've spoken to a few trainee solicitors and other solicitors that have also said, they thought they'd go next to the TV, and it's never really cracked out to what it's.
I think quite early on in my training contract, I realised that criminal law wasn't going to be for me. Yeah. Just in terms of, I suppose, the hours that you've got to work doing that, it's a lot of nighttime work down at a police station, which
it's not very appealing,
it's not particularly glamorous. No. And I think I also, at the time when I was kind of looking ahead to what my career might be, I kind of realised that if I got to the top of my game as a criminal lawyer at Berry's, there probably wasn't anywhere else to go to, because at the time, Berry's was a really well-respected criminal law practice. And another great piece of advice I received from my dad was keep your options as open as possible.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And at the time, litigation work was something which interested me, and it was it's a really wide area of law. So you do landlord and tenant disputes, you do employment disputes, you do property disputes, inheritance disputes, general contract disputes. So there was plenty to get your teeth into and then narrow down if needed over time. So by the time I finished my training contract, I decided that it was kind of litigation, which was the area that I wanted to go into.
Okay, right.
At that time, we had an office in Tunbridge.
Okay.
And I went over and started my career as a solicitor at our Tunbridge office. We did a lot of legal aid work at that time, so I was doing a lot of social housing work, acting for tenants. I gave our local housing associations enough bloody noses that they turned around and said, "Look, Paul, will you act for us rather than against us?"
Oh, I see. That worked well. Yeah.
But also, I was very aware that as a solicitor, you can't just rely on the name over the door to get work. You had to go out into the community, and especially with Berries, the ethos is it's a community-based law firm.
Yeah.
And even just as a junior solicitor, I remember that I got involved with the Chamber of Commerce over there.
Yeah.
Went to meetings there. I ended up giving talks on employment law to local businesses.
Okay.
And really started meeting people who were working in the local community. And as time went by, those people that you meet, they move up their businesses and get into more senior roles, as I did within Berries. And I think it then got to the point where they were asking me, look, we've got problems with customers, we've got problems with employees, they may have internal business disputes, which I was able to help out with. Yeah. So I was really getting involved in helping businesses with their kind of disputes. Yeah. And then a lot of the disputes, you'd have documents like terms and conditions of business, shareholders agreements, employment contracts. So it was kind of natural then to say, well, okay, let's start advising on these documents which really do govern the relationships between the key people in the business. Yeah. And assist them with that in trying to prevent problems rather than sort problems out when they happen. Got involved with that. And then the next step, I guess, is when these people have now become business owners are looking to expand, or even people I've known for a long time, they're looking for retire. So you're looking at business sales, business purchases, and we get into that. So
you sort of learnt on the job, really. As
you're going through. Yeah. And I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I said that I'd been at Berries for 27 years. And I keep saying, is it just inertia on my point? But I can genuinely say that throughout those 27 years, there has always been a new challenge at Berries when I've needed it.
Right, okay.
Coming through from being a trainee solicitor, cutting my teeth as a junior lawyer, getting up to head the department when we had a Maidstone office for a while, and then coming back as the head of the department, then getting put on the management board, and then when Nigel Stratton, our previous managing partner, retired, I was kindly asked to do the role. I think it might have been a case that I was the last one to step back when someone asked the question. But
so did you consider it, or did you think, am I good enough for this, or did you go, no problem?
It was really weird in that I think probably about 6 months before being asked, in my mind I was like, there is no way I would want to do that role at all. Yeah. I guess at the time I must have had relatively young kids and quite a busy life, and putting yourself in that position was certainly not something that I really wanted to do. Yeah. But when it got closer to the time, I remember before I was asked, we knew Nigel was retiring, and there was a group of us who would be continuing. And I remember going for a walk out on the common one lunchtime and thinking about this. And I hope this doesn't sound big-headed, because I'm not. That's not really, it's not me. But I kind of thought about it, and what we needed was someone, I think, who could keep this group of people together and help them all move the firm forward. And I think one of my skills is probably as a people person that I'm good at listening to people, communicating people, and keeping people together as a group. Yeah. And when I looked around, all the other partners have great skills, a lot, in certain areas, technically better than me. But that is what I thought you need to be as a managing partner. And I thought, I'm really the person who can do that job. Yeah. And in my mind, what happened, and I think this is what happened, is that when I came back from that walk, I sat down at my desk, and Nigel came in and he said, look, we've been thinking about this, Paul, and we think you should be the next managing partner.
Yeah,
And I kind of like looked at him and went, do you know what? I think I've come to that conclusion as well.
Yeah.
And thankfully, when this was put to all the other partners, they agreed as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's, it's been great that they did.
So how long ago was that?
So that was 7.5 years ago now.
Right, okay.
And it's been great because I don't see myself as the leader here.
Yeah.
There are now 4 of us who own the business. And it really is a team effort.
Okay.
And going back to what I just said about looking at other people's skills, it's really important for this firm that we get to utilise all those skills.
Yeah.
And I genuinely love working with the other guys in the business in moving it forward, and it's been really, really rewarding over these past 7.5 years working with them. And I think we have made big changes here. And I think not only do I recognise that they have different skills to me, they recognise that I have different skills, but we all respect those abilities that we each have, and I think we all recognise the importance of everyone's input, and I think that's really important. There's no egos flying about, and that really does help us.
Yeah, and I think that's how really successful businesses seem to all follow suit of that, where at the top or in any sort of department even, they've got different people with different skills that overlap.
Yeah.
And as long as, like you say, as long as that's respected, I can't do this, can you do this because you're good at this?
Yeah.
Then you're going to move forward. So
I keep saying the one like Rob Mosley, who's the head of our property team, who's done an amazing job with that team.
Yeah.
But his brain and the way it can take in complex information and then just quickly turn it around is something which you can get your teeth into is amazing. And we always get hit with these like regulatory emails which says these are the new regulations, and whenever it hits my inbox I'm like, right, I'll park it over there and I'll have a think about it at some point. And usually by the time I've had that thought, Rob's already sent an email around saying we've just got this is what it means.
Brilliant.
And
that's a relief for you.
It's good. So but hopefully, I'm sure he will say that actually when it comes to, working with the people and moving them along, that's hopefully what he sees as my skill.
Yeah, all really important skills, they really are.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, Berry and Lambert, so was there a Mr. Berry and a Mr. Lambert 270 years ago?
So there was Berry and Lamberts is a amalgamation of 2 firms. I'm sure we used to be Berry and Berry, so when I joined it was Berry and Berry.
Okay.
And then there was Lamberts Solicitors that were based in Sevenoaks and Paddock Wood.
Right.
And so I guess this must have been about 15 years ago now when the 2 firms merged. Yeah. And at that point in time, I mean, it was crazy. We had a rebrand. I remember there was a whole discussion. It's like, we're not going to change the names of either firm because there's goodwill attaching to it. But we had one switchboard. So when people were calling up, our receptionist was answering Berry and Lamberts. I said, we've already rebranded at that point. So that's the answer. We changed it to Berry and Lamberts. But there were certainly the Berry brothers, and I think their father back in the 60s and before that.
Right.
And then John Lambert of Lamberts Solicitors. I think Lamberts probably were established not as long as the 270 years ago, probably in the last 50 years I think it was established.
Right. Okay.
Right. The Berries who were involved with the business have passed away.
Yeah.
And John Lambert retired some time ago.
Okay.
So
just to get a bit of history on it.
Yeah. We certainly don't want Reader above the door. That's the last thing that I want. So Berry and Lamberts is fine.
Right, that's good. We've made that statement. That's good. Now, you also won some awards. I can't remember the name of the governing body you spoke about.
Yeah, the Lawnet Award.
Yeah, Lawnet. Yeah.
So Lawnet is an amazing organisation. It's a group, essentially a group of solicitors. There's 80 solicitors in the UK who are members of this group, and it's an invitation-only group.
Okay.
And you get invited if you meet certain quite strict quality standards. Now, Berries has been part of Lawnet since before I joined the firm, so 27 years ago. But this group has gone from strength to strength. And it enables, we all sign up to a quality standard, which goes beyond the Lexel standard, which is the kind of like standard that most solicitors sign up to. And it really is focused on how we deliver our services to the client. So we have mystery shoppers come in once a year. Yeah. We get feedback from that and training off the back of that. But it really means that this group is a group of quality solicitors that all share ideas, and we also share our purchasing power. So when you look at the group in terms of its combined strength and overall turnover, it puts us all up within the top 5 in the UK. Yeah. But as a result of that, when we go out to get our professional indemnity insurance, we're able to get good rates on that because we all sign up to quality standards. They know that the LawNet brand is good. We're able to get really good speakers to come and talk to us. We have an annual conference. And we also get training through LawNet, and the training is bespoke to what we need as firms. So LawNet will talk to us and say, look, what do you think the issues are coming up? What do you need help on, both on a technical level and also soft skills level? Yeah. And we get really good speakers coming in and providing that training. So it's a really great organisation. And we were lucky enough last year to win the award of LawNet Firm of the Year under 6 million turnover. And it's the first time we'd put in for an award. Because I think one of the things we haven't done particularly well in the past is really shout about the quality of our services. It feels a little unnatural to me. I'm quite happy doing what we do and keeping our heads down, but actually I think when you look at the quality, it got to the point when you look at the quality of the solicitors that we've got here and the work that they're doing, and the quality of the management team and what we've done with the firm, that it was like, well, okay, let's put in for this award and just see how we are doing. And to win the award against, other really high quality law firms through an independent judging panel. This is not people who we know. This is people who looked at the submissions and said, okay. So, and it was nice that we even got, I think one of the runners-up actually contacted us and said, look, we were disappointed that we didn't win it, but actually it was really good to see you guys win it. Oh, that's nice. Which was really, it's good. So, it's nice to have that reputation, to be respected by your peers in that respect.
Absolutely, yeah. How many people were in that category, do you know?
So, I don't know how many people actually put applications in for it, but I think there was a short list of 4 or 5. Okay. And it was funny because at the award, there's a black tie do, and then the awards are at the end of it. And I was sat next to this lady who I hadn't met before, and I said, hi, Paul from Berry and Lamberts. And she said, I was on the judging panel. And I spent the entire meal
quizzing her.
No. I just didn't want to talk to her about it. And I couldn't work out which way it had gone. So when she got on the stage and announced it, afterwards I said, you had a proper poker face through the meal. That was really good. And she was great because she said it was a really, really strong category. And she said, but your submission was, it was outstanding. So it was really good to hear.
Congratulations.
So I really proud of that. I'm proud, I'm lucky that I was able to go up and collect the award on behalf of the firm and enjoyed the black tie and the drinks that came afterwards. But the first thing that we do, we've got a firm WhatsApp group, and it was just like, there's a photo of the awards, guys. You all made it happen. And it's
make them realise.
I think everyone here is proud of it, as they should be.
That's cool. I looked on your website this morning, and I was looking at the team, and it just kept going down and down and down and down and down. How many of them are? Have you?
So I think there's round about 60 of us now.
Is there right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's quite funny because I'd never really considered ourselves to be a big business.
Or a large, so a small, medium, or a large. You're going the medium category.
We're medium business. But it's funny when I go out around the town to various networking groups and things like that, I actually start realising that actually we are quite a size of a business. Yeah,
there's not many other businesses in this area that have got that sort of staff. Probably 4 or 5 or maybe 6.
Yeah. So. And that keeps things interesting.
Yeah, I bet it does. Well, that's where you come in, because you're good with people, you see.
Well, yeah, I try to. I might, if people hear this from the firm and see me saying this, they may have a few things to say about it. But
it's the hardest part, Paul. I mean, I take my after you too, because that, I believe, from everyone I speak to within a business, the hardest part is looking after the people the right way, keeping them motivated, keeping them staying.
Yeah,
all
but
those
I think it has been our ethos from when we took over as a management team.
Yeah.
It was, we've got to look after our staff.
Yeah.
And if you look after your staff, then they will look after your clients.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And, you know, it was a question of coming in and saying, right, let's make sure that these offices are a nice place to come in to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've spent a lot of the building this year, but even leading up to this, we were making improvements so that people, you know, you spend most of your life at work, so it needs to be a nice environment to work in. Yeah. We made sure that we recruited the right staff. I think in the past we probably had been guilty of just recruiting a person to fill a role because we needed a role filled. And I think that can lead to getting people who maybe aren't of the same ethos of the firm. So now we really do, when we are recruiting people, make sure you take their technical ability as a given. It's very hard within an hour's interview or an hour and a half interview to really get down to what they know. I mean, you don't want an interview which is like an exam, quite frankly. So you take that as a given, but it really is finding the people who will we say we're friendly and approachable, so it's just making sure that they're people who can engage with people. We are a people business. People come and work with us because they feel like they can get along with us. So it is really making sure that you have those people across the business, not just the people who are advising, but also the support staff who are answering the phones, the receptionist, the accounts team. And it's just making sure you've got those people so that you can get along as a team. You can all talk to one another, and there's no issues with communication there. So we spent a lot of time doing that, even if it means we're desperate to have a person in a role, but actually we're not going to recruit that person we've just seen, not because we don't think they can do the legal work, but because actually we need the right person to fit within the team.
Right, hold on for a bit. It's the company culture, it's really important, isn't it?
And I think as a result of that, our staff retention level is really, really high, which is great. And then the next thing is making sure that they've got work which interests them.
So they stay.
And it's making sure that there's good quality work coming in, and we're able to do that, across the board.
Very good. Before we wrap things up, now you're a guitarist. And a very good one. I think.
Well, that's very kind.
I've seen you play. So you play in a band. You love music, and it's a shame we're not doing this in your office, because the pictures you've got around your walls are lovely of Clapton and all those other sort of musicians. Hendrix. That's important for you outside of work to get stuck into guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I've got two very good mates who are musicians as well, and we've been playing for I think it's about 12 years now together. And it's it is completely different from what we do at Berries, and it's just a great release. Although I do have clients who've seen me and they kind of like double take whenever they see you do that. But I think it's also enabled me. I mean, one thing that Berries is really passionate about is the community. It's been around for 270 years. We act for generations of families, and Tunbridge Wells is the community that we serve, and we really enjoy giving back into that community. So we sponsor the Literary Festival in Tunbridge Wells, which is amazing. What they've done with that is just fantastic. The names that they get down, which enables people from Tunbridge Wells, from no matter what age group you are, you're meeting with, they've had David Williams down, they had Michael Palin down, they've had
Martin Clunes was someone.
Martin Clunes was here. They had Bobby Gillespie from Primal Screen down.
Yeah.
So all interesting. It makes it such a vibrant town.
Yeah.
So we get involved with that. We get involved with the Local and Live Festival and sponsoring that, which is all local bands playing their own music and being able to do that. And it fills Calverley Park. And what Paul Dunton does with that festival is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
But getting involved with we sponsor the Trinity Arts Centre as well. So it's giving back to the community what we can in that respect, and being involved within that community.
Yeah.
And as from my accent you can tell I'm not originally from Tunbridge Wells. I really do. It is my home, and I love being part of the town.
It's evident with your brand, and Melissa, who does your marketing, she does a great job of making sure the Bury and Lamberts brand is about in the right places that match what your beliefs are and your ethos is. Which is what you're doing. And you're also at the Tunbridge Wells Business Show, don't forget as well.
Could not forget that. I think we were there last year and it was a great time, and we've got the stall booked already. So,
yes, you have.
So if anyone is out there and wants to come and say hello, please do that.
Please do that, well, listen, Paul, thank you so much for asking me in.
No, it's been a pleasure.
I'm glad we got here in the end. And I wanted to everyone to hear you and your story. Sometimes you're in the shadows a little bit, even though you're in the band, but people may not realise that it's you that heads up this wonderful organisation. So it's nice to put a face to name for everyone.
Thank you.
So just quickly, the future for Bury and Lamberts. We've got a couple of minutes. Where can you go any further? You're at the top, right? Or retirement?
That'd be nice. No, I mean, I think one thing about Tunbridge Wells is that there are a number of quality law firms in Tunbridge Wells.
Yes.
And it's funny, I met with the managing partner, one of the partners of one of the local firms last week. And I think what we are all really conscious of is making sure that we collaborate together as firms. Yes, we're on opposite sides. Yeah. Usually, disputes you'll be on opposite sides. You need two lawyers when you're doing a property transaction. But disputes get resolved when the lawyers can work together well.
Yeah.
Property transactions proceed, quickly when the lawyers get together and can work well. So I think I'd certainly like to strengthen our relationships with other lawyers within the town.
Yeah.
I want Bury's to be recognised as one of those, a quality firm within the town, respected by clients and the other firms in the town. And I think it will be just a question of looking at what other services are needed in the locality and making sure that we're able to provide those services to people. I mean, at the moment, we do the dispute work, we do the company commercial work, we do the property work, both residential and commercial. We do matrimonial work, we do wills and probate work. And our ethos is that whenever the law touches someone's life, we want to be there to assist them. So wherever there's a gap, that's where we want to make sure they fill it and hopefully carry on for another 270 years.
That's right. It may well continue. Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks again, Paul. And we'll see you all for another podcast soon. Thank you. Cheers,
Thanks a lot,
mate.
Nick.
Thank you.
Cheers.